Hello and welcome to HITC Sport, and after more than 250 appearances, a plethora of incredible moments, it is the end of the road for a true great of the game. That's right, Shay Logan is leaving Aberdeen for Hearts. Oh, and Sergio Aguero is leaving Man City. That's probably a bit more important. Yes, on Monday afternoon it was confirmed that Sergio Aguero's Manchester City career is coming to an end. The striker's contract is set to expire this summer, and it's now official that they're not going to be extending it. Aguero's had a pretty rough season, to be honest with you. He's either been injured or just sat on the bench twiddling his thumbs. He's back to full fitness now, but that's no use to Man City, who have decided to call it a day on one of their greatest players of all time. It's been an emotional few years for Man City fans. First Yaya Toure left, then it was Vincent Kompany, then David Silva, and now Sergio Aguero. The complete core of the new modern Manchester City is now over, leaving a load of Manchester City Bens devastated that these modern day legends are leaving the club. It's probably how the Dars felt when Paul Dickov left. Aguero is set to receive a statue at the Etihad, which is kind of ironic because that's about as mobile as he's been when he's actually played this season. Despite being one of the greatest of all time, it's been a little bit sad to watch Aguero this season. Not that it's mad for City, who were still completely coasting en route to the Premier League title. They might even do the quadruple. That would be the perfect end for Aguero, as the Champions League is the only trophy that's eluded Manchester City and Aguero ever since they became flush with cash like your boy John Ralphio from Parks and Recreation. But to be honest with you, I'm happy to see the back of Aguero. Good riddance to him. Two reasons. First, because he's completely let me down in fantasy football this season. I do a draft league with my friends where each player can only be used once, and I know what you're thinking straight away. Yes, I do have friends. And my first pick was Sergio Aguero. He's a man who guarantees points. All he does is score goals. It was an absolute nailed on success. I thought he was going to be the player to take me to the top. Do you know how many points he's got me all season? 15. Not 50. 15. I'd be better off having either Joe Linton up front or Ryan Brewster leading the line. So screw you, Sergio. Good riddance. But more importantly, I think all of us who aren't Man City fans will be glad to see the back of Aguero, as it means we can rest easy knowing that we won't be bullied to bits every time we play the little Argentinian. Christ, I hope they don't replace him with another little Argentinian. As a Newcastle fan, I have nightmares about Aguero. The bloke could turn up half pissed after smashing a bottle of vino and with his hamstring hanging off, and he'd still probably score. Throughout his career, Aguero has so far scored 15 goals against Newcastle, including a 5-goal haul against them back in 2015. Aguero was so ruthless that day that Chancellor Mbemba was never seen since until he re-emerged to neutralise Cristiano Ronaldo in the Champions League the other week. To be fair, Aguero's record against pretty much every team's impeccable. He's unrivalled. He's got 9 against Man United, 15 against Chelsea, 11 against Arsenal. The only Premier League club that he's faced and hasn't scored against is Bolton Wanderers. 33 different teams faced, and against 32 of them he's found the net. The only one he hasn't is Bolton Wanderers, a club who's got as many YouTube personalities as it needs promotions to get back to the Premier League. But his first Premier League goal came against Swansea City, so let's go all the way back to his debut in August 2011. Aguero was a landmark arrival for Manchester City and looked like the kind of signing that could push them to the next level and take them to the Premier League title. He cost £35 million from Atletico Madrid, whose fans weren't particularly impressed with his departure, unveiling a banner that said, "Aguero, we hope you die." I mean, that's a little bit severe, lads. It is only football. And you got Radamel Falcao in his place. What are you complaining about? There's no one better in world football at replacing strikers. They're like the sugar babes when it comes to changing the lineup. But Aguero's first Premier League appearance came off the bench, coming on as a 59th minute substitute against newly promoted Swansea City. In just over 30 minutes, he showed everyone exactly what he was all about. He got himself a poacher's goal, a hard-working assist, and a thunderbolt from 30 yards out. It was the best debut Manchester's seen since Oasis brought out Definitely Maybe, which ironically is what Man City fans said when they were asked, is Aguero going to score this week? Not that Aguero knows who Oasis are, he probably just thinks Noel Gallagher's some weird bloke who used to clean the toilets, and that's why he was at the ground every week. It was an unbelievable debut from Aguero that day, who set the tone for what was going to come in the next 10 years. He's gone on to become a Premier League legend and Manchester City's all-time leading goal scorer. But what happened to the rest of the team on that day? Joe Hart's warming the bench at Spurs whilst browsing job site for a new social media crew. Mika Richards is laughing his way through every single punditry job he gets. Julian Lescott does punditry too, while still trying to explain how his pocket tweeted a picture of a sodden car back when he was at Villa. Vincent Kompany is now Anderlecht boss. Gail Clichy's playing for Servette in Switzerland, just Scran and Toblerones all week. Adam Johnson is, well, you know what he did. Gareth Barry is finally retired with more Premier League appearances than anyone ever, and probably more taxi thefts to be honest. David Silva left City for Real Sociedad last summer. Nigel de Jong is playing in Qatar whilst practicing his bro kicks. Yaya Toure is an assistant coach in Ukraine for Olympic Donetsk, where hopefully they get him a birthday cake, and Edin Dzeko is playing for Roma, but more than the fact that Sergio Aguero ever joined him in Manchester. Everyone remembers Aguero's goal against QPR, but they all forget about Dzeko's. From the entire Manchester City squad that day, Aguero is the only player still at the Etihad. It was clear as soon as he arrived that he was going to be a game changer for Man City. He was one of those players that no matter who you supported, you were excited to go and watch. Well, it was between him and Charlie Adam, according to journalist Ollie Holt in 2011. You think Michael's predictions are bad? Even he wouldn't say something so incredibly wrong as soon as it slipped out of his mouth. But while Aguero is in his 10th season as a City player that's included 4 Premier League titles, 1 FA Cup and 5 League Cups so far, Charlie Adam only lasted 1 season at Liverpool and is now playing north of the border again with Dundee. And nowadays he's just better known for being Parched from the Peter Crouch podcast. Then again, I can't remember any time that Sergio Aguero scored from his own half, so maybe Ollie Holt was right after all. Then again, you're bound to score at least one when you try about 5 a game like the Scottish midfielder did back in the day. But while some were strangely tipping Charlie Adam to be the signing of the summer, less than 12 months on it was clear who the real MVP was. Aguero scored 23 Premier League goals in his first season, one of which will go down as the most iconic goal in Premier League history. Unless you're just a massive fan of Michu's first Premier League goal. It came in the dying seconds of the game, Aguero's goal, not Michu's, at a time when everyone associated with Manchester United thought the title was heading to Old Trafford. But with a neat pass from Mario Balotelli, Sergio Aguero with ice in his veins took it past a desperate challenge and fired the ball in the net to go down in history as the man who scored the title-winning goal in 2011. The scenes were incredible, the shirt was off, Martin Tyler was losing his voice, Fergie was crying, everyone went crazy as Manchester City completed a stoppage time comeback to end an incredible Premier League season as champions. We're going to have another 100 years of Premier League football and nothing will be as dramatic as that. And for all the goals he scored, that is the one moment that will ensure Sergio Aguero lives on in infamy and continues to give Man United fans nightmares so bad they probably need to go to therapy. At the time of recording, Sergio Aguero scored 181 Premier League goals. Only Andy Cole, Wayne Rooney and Alan Shearer have scored more than him. He's the highest scoring international player in Premier League history and has to go down as one of the best foreign players to ever grace these shores. Is he the greatest striker in Premier League history? No, that's Alan Shearer, and I'll give you 260 reasons why, and it wouldn't have been more if it hadn't been for all the injuries he had. But I'd put him alongside Thierry Henry and Wayne Rooney, no doubt about it. But the question remains, who will replace him at Manchester City? I know they've survived this season without a recognised striker most weeks, but Pep's hardly going to pass up an opportunity to splash some cash this summer, and it's not like he needs any more defenders. Nathan Ake's got so little work to do that Guardiola's got him cleaning the pool and cutting the grass back at Casa Pep. There's 3 big time options to replace Aguero. Or they stick with Gabriel Jesus, which I don't really think will happen, or they promote Liam Delap and they have City just doing long throws like his dad. Anyway, your 3 options are pretty obvious. Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland or Harry Kane. Sign any of those 3 and we might as well just call it a day on the old football lark, because no matter what anyone does, City will become even more unstoppable. Seriously, right now I don't know how you stop Man City. Add Haaland, Kane or Mbappe to the mix, there's literally no point in even trying. It'll just be year after year of invincible season, making football so one-sided that we need to start a new YouTube channel called HITC Snooker or something like that. Christ, it's hard enough talking about football. I mean, out of those 3, I'd put my money on Haaland. At least he's already got a Man City shirt. And it's one from the golden era of Alano and Michael Johnson. He liked Man City before they were cool and won everything. Not like the glory supporters who just crept out the woodwork as soon as Sheikh Mansour arrived and started wafting 50 quid notes under their noses. Mbappe likes playing off the left rather than through the middle, and he'll probably cost too much even for Man City. And the same can be said for Harry Kane, and he turns 28 this summer. Haaland seems like the logical option, or Pep goes for the Scott Carson approach and gets some tired old veteran like David Nugent on loan. But whoever does replace Aguero will have the unenviable task of replacing one of the greatest strikers the Premier League has ever seen, and a man who's won so many Player of the Month awards that he can afford to use them as a stand for his camera when he's playing FIFA. It beats the stand for my first video on camera, I suppose. I had a step ladder, a couple of boxes of celebrations, and Joey Barton's autobiography, the man who kicked Sergio Aguero up the arse as if he was Bishop Bloody Brennan from Father Ted back in the day. But let's raise a glass to Sergio Aguero. Despite all the goals, all the trophies, all the incredible moments, yet he still couldn't get in the PFA Team of the Year. Ugh, I thought it was water. Wherever you go next, Sergio, just make sure it isn't the Premier League, because I'm sick of the sight of you scoring past literally everyone. Good riddance to you. So there we have it, that's the end of the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to HITC Sport. And until next time, we will see you around.